Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from Parts Unknown. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I'm from Parts Unknown. I'll tell you one part I'm not at in the United States is in Los Angeles. You wouldn't catch me in that S-hole. But anyway, folks, I am once again live streaming on Bumble and Utizzle, and I appreciate everybody that tunes in to see what we're going to talk about. I got a couple of videos I'm going to play. I hope you will enjoy. Oh, who's this? Maxine Waters. She's going to exercise her rights as a congressperson.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public appeal.
I need to get in.
And what is the famous saying I always have? It's rather crude but true. People in hell want ice water. What you want, what you get's two different things. Now, don't you know Trump stole the election?
All right, look, you ready for a tinfoil hat moment?
I'm sorry?
Are you ready for a tinfoil hat moment?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to be bold and say this. And, you can take issue with this all you want. I do not think he won in a free and fair election. How do you like that, lefties? Yeah, I said it. I'm Kathy Griffin, and I do not think Trump won in a free and fair election. I believe there was tampering. I don't know. I don't know if it was the Elon connection. I don't know if it was just a few good old boys in the South who didn't do what they accuse us of. If you remember Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, what they tend to accuse us of is what we find out they themselves did. So I know I'll take heat for this, and people are going to say I'm crazy, but I've been called crazy before, Don. And I just, the more times
your gut is telling you something happened.
My gut is telling me that something was up with that.
You're not far off. I won't say that I disagree with you, but
okay.
I'm an evidence person. I'd like to see the evidence. I think something was off, and especially when someone said, "Oh, we've got this," and how do you know that? How do you know we've got this? How do you know? Or I don't need your vote or anything like that. It's
this
a
will be the
little bit
last
odd.
election. We won't have any elections after this.
Vote for me, and you won't have to vote again anymore. And also, as you said, every act.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm it's all.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Yeah, Trump stole the election, and the stuff that's going on in LA is all Trump's fault because the National Guard was activated. But we will peel that onion back and show you all that, well, you all know that it's really nothing to do with the National Guard. And the conflicts that people are seeing are between the police in California and the protesters who want chaos. The imported military age individuals waving foreign flags. Been building up for years. Let me see who made it in here. Let me see. Lucky, how you doing? Todd's here. Wanda, Angel, Sissy, Diane, nice to see you. Robin's here. Kim, Kathy. Let's see. Araceli, nice to see you. Yvonne's here. Good. Wayne's here. Yay. So who else we got? Darla's here. All right. Rebecca. Kim's here. Nice to see you. Wanda. All right. Martin's here. Yeah, he took the gloves off. Better believe it. Gloves are off and they're going to stay off. So, yeah, it's time to start slapping people around a little bit. I got some videos of people getting slapped around. I can't play too much of them, but hi, Jerry. Yeah, it should be a China flag. Oh, they'll fly any flag but an American flag. So, anyway, a little something you could put on your meta page. I got tons of videos. I tell you, I got sick watching these so-called protesters, mostly peaceful. I've got videos that probably you all have seen. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But I will, I'll play them for you anyway. I mean, this is historical. Here's gruesome Newsom. What the hell do you want? What do you want, mister? Let me see, get this up. Trump's not putting up. You know, last night I'm sitting there thinking, Trump, in a 24-hour period, with one hand tied behind his back, put that business with Elon to bed, slapped him flat. Who knows if it's a show? I think it is, but that's another story. Just announced that the National Guard was coming out to Los Angeles. It was a quiet night. And then Trump goes on about his day. Well, they act like it's a horrible thing that ignited these problems. They were going to be burning stuff up. They were going to be raising hell, whether Trump called out the National Guard or not. The National Guard didn't even interact with the general public. They protected federal buildings and ICE agents conducting raids. Everything you saw today, 90% of it was the LAPD and these so-called protesters. So anyway, let's see what Gruesom's got to say.
Donald Trump is threatening to defund California, but it's Econ 101. California is a donor state. We provide over $80 billion more in tax revenue to the federal government than the federal government provides to the people of the state of California. We help pay federal bills. So if Donald Trump's going to continue to threaten 40 million Americans that live in California, maybe we should consider withholding those resources.
So this is before the National Guard announcement. He's making these combative proclamations. And Trump said, well, I'll take care of that. And he just pretty much took his authority with state law enforcement away from him, since he's not doing it anyway. And I got a clip or a post. Let's see. It was something I didn't find anywhere else but on Ruski Media about this gruesome Newsom thing. Have you all heard this? Governor Gavin Newsom is threatening to commit criminal tax evasion? Have you heard this anywhere else? Answer me in the chats, please. Why do I have to go to Ruski Media to hear that U.S. Secretary Scott Bessent is threatening to arrest Governor Newsom, California, on criminal tax evasion charges? Governor Newsom is threatening to commit criminal tax evasion. His plan: defraud the American taxpayer and leave California residents on the hook for unpaid federal taxes. I am certain most California businesses know that failing to pay taxes owed to the Treasury constitute tax evasion and have no intention of following up on the dangerous path Governor Newsom is threatening. I would warn state officials, including payroll managers, that federal law attaches personal liability to an attempt to evade or defeat tax. Oh, they want to make Newsom look like he's standing up to Trump, and they're not going to put out obvious stuff like this. What could happen to him? And he's keeping his mouth shut about it. You won't hear him getting up saying, I dare you. Wouldn't that be funny? And they lock him up if he did it. You know, and this stuff with Elon Musk. Have you all heard? Let's see. Kathy said no. Nobody else cared to answer. All right. Sometimes I pay attention to the chats, and sometimes it's like, well, what for? But anyway, thank you for answering, Kathy. Because I know you didn't hear it from the mainstream media, okay? So anyway, this business with Elon Musk was put to bed by his father. His father. He's in Moscow. And he's saying pretty much that Elon Musk was getting a little too big for his britches and needed to calm down. Yes, he was under a lot of stress. But can't be anywhere close to what Donald Trump's been going through for almost 10 years. Anyway, here's Elon's father.
You know, they've been under a lot of stress for 5 months, a lot of stress for 5 months. And, give them a break. They've had to get rid of all the opposition, try and put the country back on track and, do normal things and so forth. And they're very tired and stressed. And so you can expect something like this. It's not unusual. Yes. Oh, no. Trump will prevail. He's the president. He was elected as the president. So, Elon made a mistake, I think, but he's tired. He's stressed. 5 months, continuous, stress. And then, in the end, it's just him and Trump left. Then they still, don't know what to do. So they fight with each other, until they can, come to normal conditions, you know what I mean? But first 5 months, terrible stress. Well, as I say, a lot of stress that they had, so Elon he wants to stick to the principles of not giving to the Democrats their stupid ideas, money and stuff, and Trump's must do that to get their votes. So, it's normal, it's just a small thing. It will be over in tomorrow.
He called a small thing. It'll be over tomorrow. Trump has to work with the Democrats because he needs the bill to pass. It's common sense. What powers he will have after the bill passes and what he does to straighten out this thing, Elon Musk doesn't know. Or does he know? I don't know. We shall see. Here's a sickening story from Newsmax. You see that number? An Indiana teacher has resigned after being called out for wearing a shirt with the nefarious, I'll call them the Comey numbers, James Comey, while accompanying a school group on a White House tour. She had the nerve to wear this into the White House. Teacher resigns after wearing the Comey number shirt into the White House. Well, I hope it goes beyond that. I hope they have her at least shaking her boots a little bit. Dan Scavino posted this, so I posted too, right over top of gruesome Newsom and bass backwards. I stand with ICE. You know, I'm sure you all are like me and spent an inordinate amount of time watching these ne'er-do-wells, misfits, miscreants, invaders, causing trouble, burning stuff up. It's so monotonous. But I got some clips I'll play for you. But here's a good one Donald Trump Jr. put up. Make rooftop Koreans great again. Everybody rioting until the roof starts speaking Korean. Yes, I'm mispronouncing words on purpose. I do like going to other sites and watching things. Andrew Branco, I told you about him. He's law of self-defense. I sniped this from his channel, and I am unanimous with him in what his notions are. Where did it go? About somebody at the protests. Oh my goodness. I'll have to find it in a minute. I just saw it, but stuff jumps around. Oh my. Well, I was talking the other night about people looking for lawsuits when they go to these events. That's right, Angela. I believe she should have been too. She should have been arrested right there in the White House. Yeah, the upside down flag. Disgraceful. Hi, Robin. How you doing? Let's see. Doc's here. Who'd I miss? Melinda. KNS Cleanup. Jackie. Who got in here without me knowing about? Whiskey, how you doing? Nice to see you all. Anyway, I had a screenshot of this woman. Here she is. Look at her. Her kid. Oh, she's got they blacked out the kid's face. Oh, the baby's eyes are tearing up because of the tear gas. No, they got a bottle of milk, look. A bottle of milk. All day long they're being told to disperse or else. She should be arrested for child endangerment. That's what Andrew Branco said, and I am unanimous in that. Right Angle News Network. Breaking. Democrats are now demanding charges be brought against LAPD officers for using tear gas in a crowd that included a baby, despite the crowd actively assaulting ICE agents. How about charges for the mother? I agree. What do you think that the odds are that she's here legally? What do you think the odds are? Dan Scavino posted this last night after Trump called out the National Guard. What's he doing, folks? We got to get it. Time for the popcorn. I found that to be encouraging. Oh, he posted something else, but I didn't put it in the studio. I'll talk about it probably tomorrow night. Here's something for you, Meta. Build an Elon statue or burn a Tesla. Democrats. They don't know what to do. They're lost. Now, I'm going to play a video, and let me ask y'all something after you watch it. Where is it? It's supposedly here. I don't know. Tell me your opinions on this video. She doesn't look too good. What's wrong, honey? What's wrong? Tell us what's bothering you.
This has been a hell of a last couple of days, okay? So, we all know that Elon and Trump are doing their feud, whatever. Here's where it gets confusing. My husband says, like, let him, like, they wouldn't be fighting in public. Like, give it some time. This might be a chess game. Like, he's thinking rationally, but no. So now I'm supposed to like Elon after I used to like Elon, but now I was told to hate Elon. So I did, and we, you know, like, did everything we could, like, to bring him down, right? Okay, so now he's like, Trump's on the list, release the files, kill the bill, like, and he's mad at Donald Trump, and which is cool, like, whatever. So, like, now I have to like Elon again, and then I didn't want the Epstein files released, but now I do, and it's just like, this is just a lot. Being a liberal is a lot. Like, you just have to go with what everyone else tells you to do. Like, you don't think for yourself. And it's, what? Say something. You always have something to say. It is a big deal. It's a big deal.
Jerry says parody. Parody, I don't know. But we do know that it has put them in a tizzy. And the timing is pretty wild. The timing's pretty wild. Can you imagine if there was still this overheated feelings against Tesla and all these things happening across the country, like the one I showed you with the girl actually shooting rounds into a Tesla? Well, a wet blanket's been thrown on that just before Tom Homan goes in to do his job. And what did I say about predictability? If you're predictable, people can play on that. So it was predictable that if Tom Homan went and did large operations in Los Angeles, that this stuff was going to happen. So, hi, Pappy Two Bears. How you doing? Run, hubby, run. Yeah, a lot of them need to run. But anyway, so that having been said, here, I don't know if you can get a clip of this and put it on your Meta. But this is when you walk up and say to a liberal, why don't you like the country? Don't you think we're on the right track? Don't you think things are looking up with the economy? What the hell is that? That's the way I would have started the video. But anyway, here's Trump. He's heading to Camp David. And this is where he says, if they spit, we hit. So he's not being phased one bit of all the crap that Gavin Newsome's putting out. We might get into that. But Gavin Newsom is trying to play it off like this violence is Trump's fault when they have been violating federal law for years. Trump knows it. Trump's not going to let it go. And they're trying to come up with a narrative to save their butts. Plus, they're looking for that $17 billion that went to the railway, along with a great many other things. That's why they're so nervous.
What is the bar for sending Marines to
The bar is what I think it is. I mean, if we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order. We're going to be watching it very closely. And when they spit at people, you know, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit. And I told them, nobody's going to spit on our police officers. Nobody's going to spit on our military, which they do as a common thing. They get up to them this far away, and then they start spitting in their face. That happens, they get hit very hard.
Even if you're not planning to invoke that Insurrection Act, you still plan to send troops?
Well, we're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country. We're not going to let our country be torn apart like it was under Biden and his auto pen.
Biden with his auto pen. You see where he is, Bedminster, New Jersey. Okay, the alternate facility, AF. I believe that is AF1. People, yeah, it could be Air Force One at times, but alternate facility 1 is Bedminster, New Jersey, in my book. So anyway, he's giving out signals because I played this quick video at the beginning, Maxine Waters. I'll play the rest of it after I play this little snippet. They do have the right to go into unannounced into ICE facilities, but not today.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public appearance.
I need to get in.
Look at that face, would you? As my father used to say, that's a face only a blind mother could love on payday. But where I had a more extensive clip where she was babbling about here she is. Here she is. Here she's got her claws out. She's walking with her claws like Nancy Pelosi's got. See the claws? Look at that. So she's walking. Look at the spray paint on the walls behind them, and they think they're doing this country any good. They're inciting every bit of this stuff. But anyway, here she's coming in.
No, I want you to. Hello, hello, hello. Congresswoman Waters, I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, our lobby is secure right now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public appearance.
I need to get in.
What are you hoping to do, Congresswoman?
I just want to see David Werter. Right.
Would a congressperson normally be able to enter the...
Normally, yes.
What is happening here?
Well, there were some of the authorities, I don't know who they were, and I'm trying to get in to see David Werter, who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU local union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back to my caucus about what's happening, but then
She's babbling about that union guy that got arrested. She said, I don't know if they're going to deport him. Nobody's talking about that either. About that big shot union guy that got arrested Saturday, was it? Yeah, yesterday. What do you care, Maxine? If he broke the law and he needs to be deported, that's what's going to happen. But she's getting the signal. And that was not a look of anger with her. That was a look of concern that she got so brusquely turned away. That, I'm sure, was done with Donald Trump's approval. So anyway, here's Trump. A very short clip. They asked him at the end, Trump asked him, do y'all want to ask Marco Rubio any questions? And we got everything internationally bubbling up and going on. And no, they don't want to ask him questions. But they asked Trump if he would arrest local officials. I'll let you hear it for yourselves.
California officials could face federal charges if they stand in the way of the deportation. Something that Bowman may have suggested.
If officials stand in the way of law and order, yeah, they will face charges. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they'll face charges. Thank you very much. Goodbye. And here's what Donald Trump posted on his Truth Social before he headed to Camp David. That's where he was going, Camp David. Him and Marco Rubio, and I'm sure a lot of other people.
They're coming out. They're coming out. They're coming out. Watch out! Fuck you!
Yeah, that's just no comment, just a clip of the doors opening and the troops coming out. And I saw, hi Hebrew, how you doing? Camp Pendleton. They're on alert, and they got protesters outside Camp Pendleton. That's coordinated. Why would you send protesters down to Camp Pendleton when they haven't even left the base? So they can act like things wouldn't have been this bad if it wasn't for Trump trying to be a dictator. And yes, Todd, she did look frazzled. Hi, flannel cheese. She looked flannel, right, Diane? I think it was a look of fear and concern. Ha, good. I'm glad. Oh, gosh. I got a video. A presidential candidate. I don't know if he's a right-wing or conservative or left-wing or what. And I can't play the final seconds of this. But this is moments before an assassin's bullet struck him. He's currently, at last I heard, critical condition.
Segundo, vamos a tener albergues, vamos a promover una estructura de cuidado, porque son muchas las personas que no pueden trabajar o estudiar porque tienen que cuidar a un familiar. Entonces tenemos que trabajar en eso, primer punto. Segundo, vamos a trabajar en la política pública de discapacidad para poder trabajar para que todas las personas en situación de discapacidad reciban la salud que corresponde, pero ojo, no todas las discapacidades son iguales ni limitantes. Así que lo que tenemos es que promover que quien pueda trabajar lo haga en el marco de la discapacidad que tiene. Segundo, salud mental. El principal problema en Colombia.
I couldn't stop the video. I was sitting here pecking at it and it wouldn't stop. So I might get in trouble for that. But as few people watch my videos, who knows? Unfortunately, he is a conservative. Oh, my word. Araceli tells us he was a conservative. I couldn't stop the video, folks. I tried. But it shows you that we're dealing with worldwide criminal entities that will stop at nothing. Stop at nothing. Maybe I better wait to play this one. I don't know. Does this have music that might get me in trouble? I don't know. Maybe if I talk over it, I will see. I don't know. You think that music will get me in trouble? I don't know. Yeah, anybody that thinks Gavin Newsom doesn't want what's happening to go on is what I believe that candidate said just before he was struck down. You're mental. He said something about mental. And anyway, this is when they finally started getting rough with people who needed to get rough with. They didn't hardly conduct any arrests. This is the first one I saw. Look how they deface the building. They deface the building. And this is not National Guard. This is the police. This is not National Guard. Everything you've seen, except for very few engagements, were with the local police. As a matter of fact, they tried to start trouble in New York. Let me see if I can single out that clip. They tried to start trouble in New York, and, you know, they call them New York's finest, and they are. And as far as law enforcement tactics, they're hard beat. And if I can find the clip, I'll show it to you. You'll see their strategy. They don't just move people back. They lock them up. And that put a stop to stuff a lot quicker. Well, if I find it, I have a sea of clips. Some of them I don't want to play because it's just over and over and over again, but let me see. That I've seen a number of times today, and I'm sure you all have seen it a number of times. This might be it. What's this? Oh, no. This is Karen Bass. Now, let me tell you, somebody had a talk with her. But because she's coming out unquestionably now saying no violence. But they're still dropping that little crack in the door, leaving that crack in the door open by saying, you have to be heard and protest peacefully. But that leads to people with their kids in a stroller wanting to sue the world for being a part of unlawful assemblies. But anyway, here she is trying to say no violence. So
try to spread them out a bit. Now, obviously, they're trying to disperse them. I'm curious if now that the National Guard troops are there on the ground, if there is any urgency on the police department's part to really put out an even stronger force and a stronger posture to get this under control. So you can, and I know your governor has said that they don't want, that he's formally requested that the National Guard troops go back, that they're not needed. Were those things correlated?
Well, I absolutely agree with the governor in asking that the troops be withdrawn. I don't think that is the way to bring peace in Los Angeles. I think that our law enforcement officers can handle this situation, but I just have to repeat again, it's a feeling here of intentional chaos in a situation that had not broken out to violence, short of a few people And there's nothing unusual about that, and our police departments can manage that. But it is as though troops were rolled out in a provocative manner, and I do not see how that is helpful to Los Angeles right now. It's not the type of resources that we need in the city.
Well, this is a clip where she is still saying it. I thought it was where she was trying to quell violence, but she did say that publicly. But she's still saying that Trump is provoking, and there's National Guard, but they're here. They're at a federal facility, guard and ICE agents, not at the 101 bridge or whatever it is. But these, you see them in the green, and they are backing up the police. You see them with police, but they're only protecting ICE agents, federal agents, and federal buildings. The police are dealing with the general public. Yeah, did you notice how they were backing up with those bean bags and rubber bullets? And they cleared them away from there. It wasn't a big deal. Yeah, thank you. It's the 101 bridge. I think this is the clip. Now, that clip I played with the Columbia guy, if they can have on YouTube a video of JFK actually getting it, you see him be struck with a bullet. You can find it on YouTube. They shouldn't have a problem with this, what happened there. What is this one? Oh, this is New York. Let me see. Let me play it. So many clips.
Los Angeles. This is live. You see the images. It's continuing right now. Less than lethal rounds as we speak. These crowd dispersal tactics being used on a group of protesters that are protesting in Paramount, California. Those in the area basically call this Compton. It's outside of a Home Depot where protests began earlier today, and there we see those gas canisters. The people covering their eyes, their mouths, their noses. These pepper balls impact all of the senses. And this is a big show that they're doing here. A big display of the less than lethal rounds.
Yeah, it clears them out of there. Clears them out. Oh, I know you all. I have watched people on YouTube with this clip. It's the guy throwing bricks at the vehicles. Now on YouTube, they're fuzzing them out. They're fuzzing him throwing. I'll just play it and then stop it before he does something. There he is. Winging bricks at passing cars. And Dan Bongino put out a statement, you might as well turn yourself in. We're going to catch you. And where is it? Somebody put out a, here it is, right here. Any of you all live in that area, you see this creep. Bill Mulligan put this up. Mulligan. The FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the ID, arrest, and conviction of this agitator who was seen on camera throwing rocks at federal vehicles as they drove by him during an anti-ICE riot in Paramount yesterday. There he is. Is that tattoos on his face? What is that? Oh, he's got a mask on. Yes. How many friends do you think he's going to have when they find out how much it is? The reward. He won't have too many friends, I can tell you that. Somebody's going to cash in. They probably already got him in custody. I see what somebody put in there about bricks. Again, here's something I got off of Russian television. Look at there. Who set this stuff out there? Does this remind you all of anything?
Whole corral of materials, a bag of rocks, a bundle of rocks, pallets, trash cans. Huh. Cinder blocks. What the fuck? These streets come riot ready or what? Source of materials.
And again, these are protesters around local cops. No National Guard. So don't blame Trump. Don't blame National Guard for what these boneheads are doing. Hi, Tennessee. How you doing? Yeah. Mayor Bass probably did set him out. And Trump did say no masks, but we'll see when they start enforcing this stuff. Yeah, Kathy, yeah, thank you. On the 101, I have a video that shows you just how quickly they can clear people out when they got to. But this is when people first saw a National Guard helicopter. They were talking about ICE agents. If you hear the guy in the background, he'll say the ICE agents are trapped. And that's why they're calling the National Guard in. So no, the police didn't have it under very good control at all. And why wait till somebody loses their life?
They're going to land at the other place. They did that raid over there on the other side of the bridge. They're going to land at the high school because all the ICE people are trapped.
All the ICE people are trapped. What, did he make that up? I'm trying to find, here's that. I'm trying to find that one, New York cops. They put it down pretty quick. They put it down pretty quick. Let me see. What's this one? Oh, Trump posted him going to the UFC after he ordered National Guard to go out. Of course, they didn't show up like Tinkerbell, twinkle your nose and they arrive. They hadn't even been deployed. He just ordered it, and they started blaming Trump for the escalation, which was going to happen anyway. But anyway, here's a UFC fighter. Look how thrilled she is to beat Donald Trump. That's a genuine emotion there. She was thrilled to meet him. Thrilled to meet him. Let me see. Here's some Palestinian. Here's some people with the dish rags. This might be New York. Yeah, I think this might be. I don't know. This is where, at the end, this is New York. This isn't the one I wanted to show you with the SWAT teams. This is just regular cops on the street dealing with the dish rag Palestinian gangs running around. At the end of this clip, you'll hear the cop look at one guy and go, "What's the matter with you?" There's a totally different feel in New York. New Yorkers are sick of this crap. That's why it's not taking off. Plus, Eric Adams has got Trump's back. And cops are finally able to do what they're trained to do. Anyway.
Why are you pushing her? You're right. Roll the windows down! Stay back, stay back. They're fucking cowards! Are you okay? Take a line. Take a step back. What is the reason for your arrest? Give me another. He's on the sidewalk! He's on the sidewalk! You're stopping us from doing our job! You're stopping us! You're gonna hurt me! What's your name? You're hurting me! You're hurting me! You're hurting her! You're hurting me! You are hurting me! You're hurting the New York City police! Put your hands behind your back!
Well, I didn't hear it on this clip. I don't know if you all did on your end. But the guy in the blue, he said, he got the guy to let go, and he said, "What's the matter with you?" So I saw him arrest at least probably 5 people in this brief skirmish. They're not just letting them run around and raise hell. They're arresting them. And that puts a stop to stuff. Here's Trump when he went to the UFC. He put this up last night after he had Hagseth made. And the crowd went wild. Let's see. I'm going to just start playing these clips here. Watch this one. Maybe I'll come across. I'm going to play riot clips. How's that? I'm going to play riot clips starting from yesterday. Here's how many of those electric vehicles, those self-driving, driverless Ubers have they destroyed? I counted at least 5 of them in different videos, but I don't know what's going on here. This might be when they caught a car on fire.
Vantage point that we would not have without having helicopters there in the sky. Look at this, Austin.
Mexican flags?
Mexican flags. The line of law enforcement agents there during this face-off. It appears to be a face-off.
Yeah, and it's tough to tell sometime from a distance, but it looked to be
the sheriff's deputies.
I think the reason I got this clip was because I'm looking at it, and look how many people are in that intersection. I'd like to just see them just a small mob like that, just go ahead, block the traffic. Wood shampoo, lock them all up right now. With all those cops there, why not?
that are creating that wall there. Looks like they're trying to create a human barrier so that they cannot get on that overpass, at least what looks to be an overpass to me from our vantage point. So this is obviously causing traffic in the area to come to a standstill. These roads are completely blocked. Protesters have been,
gathering now for 2 hours, and it's hard for us to get our bearings because we've been watching the images from the ground all this time, and now we see this shot from the sky, and it's tough for me to distinguish if this is, I don't believe what we're looking at this second is the exact same scene that we've been watching for the past couple hours.
I don't believe so.
That was Sheriff's Department guys. Look at them. Look how many they are. You just say, look, get on the sidewalk now or you're going to jail. They don't move. Cuff them up. Bring a van down. Tell them, get on the sidewalk now. Now. You keep repeating it. If they don't do it, in the paddy wagon you go. What's this one? Is this a video clip or still picture? Tom Homan, National Guard. Yeah, it's one of those vehicles they burned up. I don't know if that's a driverless vehicle or not.
You know, let's hope that no one is hurt and no one is injured and it doesn't escalate from here. Look at the flag. Yeah, Guy, I see
there it is.
You
Mexican flag can,
this is criminal activity that I hope people are held accountable for. And I'm talking about the riots right here.
Where are the cops?
Yeah, where are they?
This was all well before Hegseth activated the National Guard, or Trump activated. Well before. And like they were saying, where's the police? Where's the cops? That was a vehicle somebody stole from somebody in a different nearby town and brought there to burn it. Here's some ICE agents trying to leave a facility. And, hey, bricks hitting your windshield, all he's got is a gas mask on. It ain't going to help him if it gets hit in the head with a brick. And where's the cops to stop that stuff? They had some ICE agents outside, but a very limited number. They weren't able to stop that amount of people. They should have had some backup. This is another early clip. They had everything under control. Trump didn't need to call in the National Guard. This is different locations.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. You're taking a live look at one of the protests underway in Los Angeles just a few hours after the mass immigration raids. Chris Christie is live in Air 7 with the latest. Chris.
That's right, Giovanna. It's a major protest going on about 2 hours now. Close to 1,000 people now wrapping around the detention facility between Alameda and Los Angeles Street. They started on the front steps of the federal building at 300 Los Angeles, now marching down Aliso. In the lead there is that cattle truck leading the pack as they make the turn onto Alameda Street. The strategy here is to basically encircle the detention facility, which is that building right there, where we understand there are actually some people inside of the building.
What were they talking about? A panel truck. That looked like one of the trucks that had some blocks and rocks in it. But they were leading the way. Who owns that truck? Who was driving that truck? Where was any local police? Nowhere. And they're surrounding a federal facility. Now everybody's seen this guy. This is a pretty famous clip here. Is he the same guy they were looking for that threw rocks at the cops? I don't know. Look at that mask. That was a little clip out. You got a bunch of wordy dirds in it, so I can't play it all. But anyway, here's a clip. Whose fault is it? How it started. Thanks, Joe Biden. Thanks, gruesome Newsom? Hi, Cola. How you doing? Yeah, we know whose fault it is. Yeah, I want to know who's driving that truck. I got a clip from goofball. What's his name? Fredo? Chris Cuomo, but I didn't even know what he's talking about. Oh, this is a clip I'll play in a little bit. How they're trying to play it off like there's nothing really that bad happening. And downplaying it. All in the effort when this stuff pops off. If Trump hadn't called out the National Guard tried to be a dictator, Newsom actually said it was Trump trying to provoke where he could declare a martial law and he could be a dictator. And that it's a criminal offense for him to call out the National Guard under whatever code. You know, instead of him saying, everybody obey the police, everybody work to restore civility, whatever, he goes on the offensive. But here, this girl's trying to cover, and this guy does a pretty good job countering her. I'd have been a little rougher, but at least they're letting him on TV.
Well, again, I think this is an interesting debate. We're very concerned, and your reporting last segment was very concerned about rules of engagement and what President Trump is doing. What you're not reporting on is the violent and the destruction that's occurring there in L.A. What you're not reporting on are the criminal aliens that are being removed off the streets of Los Angeles. I think that is really important.
I hear you.
If that doesn't, or if that continues, then you're obviously going to have more and more law enforcement in there. Look, National Guard is trained to do this type of behavior. We saw it during the first Trump. We've seen it during the L.A. riots back in the early 90s, I believe. They know how to do this mission. They know how to go in there, obviously protect law enforcement, making sure that individuals have that First Amendment right to protest. But look, if they're going to cross that line, then they'll obviously take action.
Right, and I don't think anyone here in our conversation is arguing that if anyone breaks a law that they shouldn't be held accountable. And certainly we have shown that on our show as well. I think there are real questions, though, about now that these National Guard troops have been federalized. Sure. What are their orders? And when now they're under the federal government. So what are their orders? And when are they supposed to engage? And when do they use lethal force?
Well, and my experience tells me that when local law enforcement there becomes overwhelmed, when you have 200 or several hundred other agitators and folks that are crossing the line from nonviolence to violent protest, that's when you're going to get the National Guard engaged, because law enforcement capabilities are then outmatched. And so that's what the Trump administration is saying. You don't send the National Guard in this case into every community because you have local law enforcement usually helping. But I think what we've seen, and there's been reporting where, LAPD takes 2 hours to respond to an incident involving ICE officers. That's a problem. That's 2 hours where law enforcement officials perhaps could be deadly or seriously, I should say, injured. And you want to have other assets there, in this case, the National Guard, to protect those officers so that they can go out and that they can do their job.
And again, just going back to, putting National Guard troops on the ground there, that certainly is a statement. And these visual images, just the posture around this is very serious. It has been escalated by bringing in additional law enforcement. How do you think, or what is the thinking, if you can, about how they make sure that they can do exactly what you're
is bring order, give.
You'll see one guy's holding a sign up with big green letters that says National Guard LOL. Now, I'm sure he had a big marker in his back pocket and just made that sign up all by himself, didn't he? No, they're pre-printed, they're coordinated, they're trying to set up a narrative.
Give room for people to peacefully protest who are doing that, and make sure that all of that is kept in balance and not instead turn up the temperature.
I just disagree wholeheartedly by saying that bringing the National Guard, bringing law enforcement into a community is somehow escalating the situation. The only thing that's escalating it is the amount of violence against law enforcement. We heard the same thing in Portland and Seattle about more law enforcement in those communities back in 2020 was somehow escalating it when local officials simply were not doing their job in making sure that law enforcement officers were safe. So I disagree saying when you bring in National Guard, it somehow escalates it. If local officials, whether it's the governor, the mayor, or others, had done their job, let LAP do their job, we wouldn't see this. And I think President Trump and other members of the cabinet has said, look, you need to do your job, but if you're not willing to do your job, then we're going to come in here and we're going to protect those law enforcement officials. Now, and I'm sure they'll only be there as much as they're needed to be there. But again, they need to be there to protect ICE law enforcement and others trying to carry out those immigration orders.
All right, former Acting Secretary Chad Wolf, thanks again for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that's protesters. What you see on the screen right there, or what was on the screen, was a National Guard facility. The protesters are seeking them out. They're not being sent out into general population. What's this one? Let's see. Oh, this is where two boneheads take their motorcycles and rush the police line, and they both get arrested. So this is, again, not National Guard, it's the cops. And finally, they arrested somebody, for crying out loud. I heard two cops got hurt pretty bad with that motorcycle business. And what they do in New York, and you saw that clip, they jerk them out of the crowd, the ones who are really acting up, and lock them up. Oh, this is a quick video of the news helicopter flying right over a military helicopter. They're pretty freaked out watching this go by.
The last person. Shift change. Wow, Zetron, thank you so much for another one. You've been so kind today. So generous today. Thank you, Zetron.
I hope they got some planes up there with dirt boxes collecting all the cell information and signal apps of all these coordinators. The coordinators. What's this one? This was last night. Last night. Wasn't any National Guard deployed yet. Let me see what's going on in this one. Yeah, everything's under control. Latinos with Trump. That's who put that up. Latinos with Trump. Yeah, military-age men running around waving Mexican flags and tearing up communities. We don't have anything to worry about. Trump's overreacting. Here they are. This was yesterday. Lobbing bricks and rocks. Well, I tell you, if anything, with these protests, there he goes. Woo! With these protests, if anything, they're going to get set. Listen, remember how they went after the J6 people? They got all their cell phone data and they tracked people down for years till they found people. And they can do that with these people too, just as flipping quick. This was yesterday. No cops are trying to stop it. Oh, this is Manhattan. Yeah, I'll take that back. This is the clip I was telling you about. Watch how these cops interact. They don't just push people away and shoot a beanbag at them or a little tear gas and then keep standing there. They get people and they lock them up right there. And you see New York, knock on wood, the stuff has petered out when people started going to jail. These are the ICE agents. They're going to try to get through the crowd. It looks like it's going to be too rough. They don't have enough manpower. Then you're going to see the NYPD come in and see how they handle it. The difference is NYPD gave the ICE agents backup. LA didn't.
USA, no ICE, no KKK, no fascist USA.
So they're retreating now. Now they're backing up, and then the big boys are going to come in.
You are unlawfully walking in the roadway. I am ordering you to go back on the sidewalk. Crossing. No charges will be placed against you. If you remain in the roadway and refuse to use the available sidewalk, you will be subject to arrest. This is the New York City Police Department.
That's probably the only smart thing she said in the past year. There's no reason for this. You're right, stupid. But you're the one out there causing trouble. And they yanked that guy's mask off his face, too. Did you notice that? Here's a video from yesterday. I think this is a clip where she says there was some looting at a damaged convenience store got looted. What the hell are you talking about? A damaged convenience store got looted? Who the hell do you think damaged it? I think this is the same clip. I'm not sure.
We've already seen a large growing National Guard presence here in downtown LA. If you take a look behind me here, you can see troops are stationed along Alameda Street as another protest is expected to take place later today near City Hall. This follows President Trump's deployment of 2,000 National Guard members in response to a series of immigration protests across the city. This is new video from overnight showing the troops arrive. They stopped at City Hall after driving through Paramount, then ended up here at the Federal Building. Video from last night shows tense moments in downtown LA as protesters clashed with police, some setting off fireworks and starting fires. Officers responded with what appeared to be tear gas to disperse the crowds. In a separate incident, demonstrators were seen entering a damaged convenience store in Compton and looting items from inside. According to the LAPD, multiple individuals who returned to the area after a dispersal order was issued on Alameda Street were detained and are expected to be booked for failure to disperse.
Yeah, what's so disruptive about that? They showed up in LA, big deal. That's supposed to be what's really inciting the people, I guess. I don't know. Hi, Larry. How you doing? Garrett, nice to see you. Hi, Choosy. Well, I don't think it's fruitless, these street demonstrations. I think it's going to provide a lot of electronic data and a lot of connecting the dots as to who's behind this stuff. What's this one? This might be the one where I think she's one trying to say, oh, everything's fine. They're not violent. It's trying to minimize stuff.
We agree that if you're being violent, you should be arrested. You should be prosecuted. There is no disagreement on that. I think that's an effort that we can all say. But this is not what's happening. We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest. The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting. And we know that California law enforcement, local law enforcement, they're there to protect the public. They're there to protect and have public safety. And that's what they're there to do. Now, when people turn on law enforcement is when you get that response. So we want to make sure that, you know, people continue to speak up, that people show up, but that people are peaceful about the situation. And that's what we're continuing.
She's sitting there talking about it not being violent, a car burning right next to her. On screen, of course, she couldn't see that, but. What's this? Let me see what this is. Oh, this guy, Terry Moran. Might as well call him Terry Moron. He got suspended from ABC. This is the guy, ABC correspondent Terry Moran, suspended after wild rant against Trump's top advisor. He's the guy that was interviewing Trump in the Oval Office. And Trump told him, look, I picked you because I don't even really know who you are. I'm giving you a shot here. And he was saying, well, the MS-13 on Abrego Garcia's knuckles were photoshopped. And Trump's going, do you want to see the picture? And he, no, I don't. And he was real snotty and rude. Well, he's out of a job because there's no way you're going to go put him on national television after he put this up about Stephen Miller. Terry the Moron. The thing about Stephen Miller is not that he's the brains behind Trumpism. Yes, he is one of the people who conceptualizes the impulses of the Trumpist movement and translates them into policy. But what's interesting about Mr. Miller, it's not brains, it's bile. Miller is a man richly endowed with the capacity for hatred. He's a world-class hater. You can see this just by looking at him, because you can see that his hatreds are spiritual nourishment. He eats his hate. Trump is a world-class hater. He's talking about the president of the United States. The moron is supposed to be an objective news reporter. But his hatred, only a means to an end. And that end is his own glorification. This is his spiritual nourishment. Well, he took it down, but it's too late because you're out of a freaking job. And ABC don't want no more parts of Trump, a.k.a. Disney. They're going to be right in the CNN toilet bowl with a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. You know, here's something that not a lot of people have talked about. Trump put this tweet up a couple of days ago. I think we're going to start seeing an operation not only against these governors and mayors, but these attorney generals. Radical left Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser ignores illegals committing violent crimes like grape and red rum in his state, and instead jailed Tina Peters. Remember, I put that thumbnail up that said, jailed by communists? A 69-year-old Gold Star mother who worked to expose and document Democrat election fraud. Tina is an innocent political prisoner being horribly and unjustly punished in the form of cruel and unusual punishment. This is a communist persecution by the radical left Democrats to cover up their election crimes and misdeeds in 2020. Nobody's talking about this truth that he put out. The same Democratic Party that flies to El Salvador to try to free an MS-13 terrorist is cruelly imprisoning, perhaps for life, a grandmother whose brave and heroic son gave his life for America. Colorado must end this unjust incarceration of an innocent American. I am hereby directing the Department of Justice to take all necessary action to help secure the release of this, quote, hostage being held in a Colorado prison by the Democrats for political reasons. Free Tina Peterson now. Remember, Trump just nominated a new office of special counsel. His name escapes me, but he said his focus was going to be on violations of the Hatch Act. And he's letting them know, better straighten up, and you better let her out. A once great city, Los Angeles, has been invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals. Now violent insurrectionist mobs are swarming and attacking our federal agents to try and stop our deportation efforts. But these lawless riots only strengthen our resolve. I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, in coordination with all other relevant departments and agencies, to take all such action necessary to liberate Los Angeles from migrant invasion and put an end to these migrant riots. Order will be restored, the illegals will be expelled, and Los Angeles will be set free. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Why don't you report on these truths? Mainstream media. Dan Scavino. No, this was the White House. Well, Dan Scavino might have reposted it. Law and Order. Official post from the White House. Trump put up again. Great job by the National Guard in Los Angeles after 2 days of violence, clashes, and unrest. We have an incompetent governor, Newsomes, and Mayor Bass, who are, as usual, just look how they handled the fires, and now they're a very slow permitting disaster. Federal permitting is complete. Unable to handle the task. These radical protests by instigators and often paid troublemakers will not be tolerated. Also, from now on, masks will not be allowed to be worn at protests. Why do these people have to hide? What do these people have to hide and why? Again, thank you for the National Guard for a job well done. Well, I think we're going to be seeing people getting plucked out of the crowd if they got a mask and getting arrested. And if the LA police won't do it, the National Guard will. U.S. Army posted this. You know, before I enlarge it, you all know I don't like putting up wordy dirts, right? I don't like putting up wordy dirts, but this was posted by the U.S. Army. They are lowboy train transport of tanks. Look what somebody posted, spray painted on the frame. What does that say? Oh, I'll show you what it says. It's not a wordy dirt, but one I get in trouble with. H-A-N-G, Fauci and Bill Gates. U.S. Army posted that. You think that was just some graffiti artist? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, I'm not sure if this is... Oh, this might be the video where it shows you how quickly. This is how quickly they cleared the 101 bridge. Remember, this crowd was all the way down there. You see the freeway back behind the officers. They were all bunched up, blocked the whole freeway. Watch how quick they get them go up that ramp. They got that ramp cleared out and that highway. I had some still pictures. Again, it showed you the whole scene. There wasn't that many people. It looked like a lot, but when you get down to who's going to stand and cause problems versus who's going to just call it a day, it's not as many people as you would think. The ones who would just stand there and continue to cause problems are about maybe 20% of the actual crowd you see. The rest, when they start seeing people getting their heads cracked, they'll leave. I see what you comment there about robot dogs. This might be the clip. They threw explosive at horses. Boy, I tell you what, this if this isn't a clip with robot dog in it, maybe I got another one. But we'll see. I don't know what's going on here.
So these are federal law enforcement officers that are carrying this out. As we see one more person, oh, that person being dragged across the street for a moment there, being arrested.
But we want to remind folks that viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, yeah. So we're starting to see some of these people being detained by what appears to be federal law enforcement at this point. We believe that these are Border Patrol police.
No, that's not the one, but the sheriff's office has, sometimes it's easy to confuse their uniforms with National Guard, sometimes from afar. But anyway, I got a clip. Maybe I didn't get it uploaded, but they did have a robot dog. Here it is. Here it is, and people kind of like don't know what to make of it. But I don't know what kind of armament or offensive weapons it has on it, but I wouldn't want to find out either. Probably could spray you with some pretty nasty stuff or who knows what. Let's see. Here is, let's see, is this Sheriff's Department? I believe this is. I'm not sure. But this is when they start sending out the tear gas and sandbag rounds and rubber bullets. I think this is the one we'll see. Who's that? Dilly Memes or one of those meme groups? Holy cow. Yeah, well, there were a lot of people, but it wasn't as many. Let me see. I'll pull up a still shot. It wasn't. They do those tight camera shots. They pulled the same thing on J6, where they pull these tight camera shots. You go, oh my God, look at all those people. But when you pull away, let me see. I wonder if I have that still on my screen. Let me see. Yeah, here's a tight shot of the people on the bridge after they got them off the freeway. Let me see. After they got them on the freeway and had them on the ramp. There you go. Oh my, wow, look at all those people. But off to the, you had people lining there. You had looky-loos along that cement wall up top. They're just spectators. They're not participating. I'm talking about the people that were standing in the road. They've got 101 cleared. They got everybody on the ramp. Just past this screenshot, people are just peppered. They're just peppered around. Let me see. Here. Oh, this is before they cleared them out. That's the amount of people you had blocking the road. I'd like to see that bunch there. Just get the cops around them. Every one of them off to jail. But they pushed them back up the ramp and ran them all off. That's not a lot of people standing in the roadway. And I took these shots in sequence. I did screen grabs in sequence because it would last like a half an hour. But how many people are actually willing to be in the roadway is not that many. I might have one more shot. Let me see. Here, let me see. Yeah, here they are getting shoved up the ramp up in this corner here. They're getting pushed up, back up the ramp. The highway's clear. You see there where the officers are on 101. Everybody's packed in the ramp. And then you look at the top on the bridge. That's not a lot of people. That might be 1,500, 1,000, 1,500 people. I'm not saying snatch them all up, but that little mob that was down in the street right here, everybody else is looky-loos. When they let the tear gas go, the bridge cleared out. They had the other side of the freeway blocked very, very briefly. They had one side blocked. I watched the whole thing from when the freeway was open to when they blocked the side you see now. And a few clowns ran out in the other lanes, but they weren't out there 10 minutes. And once the cops showed up and started using that tear gas, a lot of people cleared out. They need to protest like this person here. Just get in a boat and go. There's Greta wearing her dish towel, Palestinian. Breaking, Israel's defense minister vows to stop aid boat carrying Greta Thunberg from reaching Gaza. I saw a video where they're making fun of it, and they should. They were saying, oh, we're on the SS whatever. We're going to bring 12 pounds of aid to Gaza. Oh, 11 pounds. I'm sorry, we got hungry. But anyway, they're doing a PR stunt that's falling apart. This is a Mayday they sent out, claiming there's a war crime being committed against them, when they just need to stay the hell out of that danger zone. The last group of people that pulled this kind of a stunt, one of them, they had a long drop with a short rope. And that's true. That was like 6 months ago.
No, come on, please. The IOF is here right now. Please sound the alarm. We are being surrounded by their boats. Yes, this is an interception. A war crime is happening right now. Please sound the alarm.
They're idiots. They would take them hostage. They're worth their weight in gold. And propaganda and eventually a lot of money, but they probably wouldn't make it out of that alive. Ridiculous. Well, let's see. Well, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow or tonight? I don't even know. I'm glad y'all came to spend your time with me tonight because a lot of people get hooked. I mean, I was watching it a lot today, but man, I want to see like you all. I want to see wood shampoos and people getting locked up, and hopefully that'll be coming very soon. Let's see, what's this one? Here's a blank screen. I hate these. I don't even know what it is. Hopefully it's nobody getting SHOT like I played earlier. If I'm gone for a week, you know what happened. But anyway, let me see what this video is.
Let me offer a few numbers. The first number I'll offer is a percentage, 74%. That's the percentage of Republicans who say we should cut taxes even if it increases the deficit. That is well above, I think, the 22% who felt that way in 1992. I'll offer some other numbers as well. How about Mike Pence's net favorable rating, which was north of 70 points, plus 70 points among Republicans before Trump went after him. Now he's in the minus territory. If you go after Donald Trump and you're a Republican, I don't care how popular you once were, your favorable ratings will fall. There is no Republican at this particular point who can take on Donald Trump and come out of that fight winning. If Elon Musk wants to stay in the good graces of Republicans, he better make up with Donald Trump because the person who will be hurt by this is not Donald Trump, it is Elon Musk.
Yeah, I was had that in relation to what I was talking about at the beginning of the program. Elon Musk, he's in the back seat now. His story's pretty much put to bed. Put to bed. But anyway, I got a clip of Joe Rogan talking to Kash Patel that I didn't have uploaded till today. So I'm going to go out with this little clip, and I'll be going live tomorrow night. So if you all are not subscribed, why not? Go ahead. It doesn't cost you nothing. Oh, I haven't said the whole broadcast. I got to buy me a coffee link if anybody wants to help support the channel. In both my Rumble and YouTube descriptions, buy me a coffee if anybody wants to stop by and help an old man out. And there's Miss Mendersu. She helped me out, and I appreciate it very much. So anyway, folks, enjoy this clip. And I'll be going live probably tomorrow night. We shall see. You all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
What about the video from the island?
Oh, sorry. So you're talking about two different things. So
sorry.
So again, we're going to give you everything. People have to remember, women. We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening because then he wins. Not doing it. You want to hate me for it? Fine. Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it, period.
Right.
If I have it.
So
where else would it be?
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
So far.
Everything we have so far is
Have you guys gone over all the video that's available?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's what takes so much damn time.
Right.
And
is there video from the island?
Not of what you want. The people out there have filled the void with can't wait to see X, Y, or Z.
Right, speculation.